Sky Sports coverage of the 8-Ball Pool Championships for 1999. Now, over the summer months, we're going to be bringing the three best events in the game, and of course they include the European Professionals Championship, the Masters, and we kick it all off with the biggest event of all, the Embassy World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Now, as tradition follows, we've come to the Stackis Hotel in Blackpool, a great venue indeed, and of course Blackpool, a great place to play pool. Now, there's been a great atmosphere here all week. Hundreds of players have tried to get into this event, but only a few could actually make it to the final stages. It's been a superb atmosphere, and sampling it all is our very own Estelle Matthews.
Well, I've been watching the playoffs for the semi-finals, and the atmosphere in Blackpool this week has been nail-biting. 10 countries have been competing at this round-robin stage, but there's just the top 4 who go through to the semis.
Current champions Wales are joined by the other home countries Scotland, Ireland, the Isle of Man and the Channel Islands, and of course former holders England. Will it be their year to lift the trophy once again? Well, to do that they'll need to demolish teams from France, Belgium, South Africa and another former title holder, Australia. Well, after a week of hard competition, we're down to the semi-final lineup. Wales are through to defend their crown alongside England, France and Ireland. But who's going to lift the trophy this year? Well, you wouldn't want to bet against Wales. They've made a championship record win over Belgium, 21-0. They're on a roll.
It's Wales against Ireland and France against England, a repeat of last year's semi-final, so it's just what we wanted. All the teams, especially Wales, the world champions, on great form. With me to enjoy it here in the studio is the man coaching the French side at the moment, Eric Lacoste. Bonjour, Eric.
Hello.
Ça va?
Yeah, very good.
Don't worry, that's as far as I'm going with my French, I can assure you. But let's talk about this. It's a great atmosphere out there. You can hear it already. Pressure's on both of these teams. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, first of all, your French team and how they're getting on and what we're going to have coming up.
The French team this year is really strong, I believe, because the level is the same for all players, every player. And we go for it if we...
I know you're bitterly disappointed you didn't make it to the final last year. Can this team go all the way?
Yes, I think we can go through the semi till the final, but we have to start well.
Now listen, for those coming new to this, let's get into the format. You've got 7 players, and it's very important who you put against each other, isn't it?
Yes, I think that one of the mistakes that we made in the past, the bad start, and we believe that this year we change the order, because we want to put some new player in front, not to play the same player as they did in the past.
And in our first matchup, Wales against Ireland, really no weaknesses in either team.
No, you don't have any weaknesses. You've got 3, 4 really brilliant players, monsters as we call them, in both teams.
Well, let's see how they line up, and this is the first matchup, and really, as you've mentioned, world champions on great form. I hear they've already beaten one team 21-0, so it shows the kind of form. Rob McKenna back on great form. Who else would you pick out?
On the Wales team, I said Neil Kershaw for sure. Rob McKenna, as you said, twice world champion. Warren Oxon as well is the student of Rob McKenna at Greg Reynolds. He's a really good professional snooker pool player, sorry.
What about Ireland? Now, you've mentioned team spirit. Tony Holgate's got bags of it. What a guy. The Basher, as they call him. He can lead a team right from the front. It's just what Ireland need, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best leaders ever had in pool, Tony, the Basher Holgate. He's really a good entertainer in the team, and everybody will follow him.
All right, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. Come on, who's going to win this one? It was close last year. I'm sure it's going to be close again.
The favourite is Wales. They are the current world champion. But I've got a personal feeling for Ireland.
Why is that?
Because I'm Celtic.
Ah, well, there you go. Fair enough. Eric Lacoste has tuned it all in. It's Wales against Ireland in our first semi-final. Let's get down to our commentary team once again. They are Alec Ebranatis and Jim Weish.
Yes, cheers, Jonathan. Team play. They live on pure adrenaline out there, but it's a totally different game than individuals. Out here, you've got to keep a positive outlook. You've got to keep the team spirit first and foremost. Think of the whole, not the individual. And obviously, getting off the mark, very important. And Alec Ebranatis, obviously not happy to see the Australian team on the sidelines as opposed to being out there playing in the semi-finals. But we talked about Ireland and Wales here, each team with a former world champion on each side. So they've got their bankers, but it is very important to get off the mark.
That's right, Jim. And Thomas is just the man to do it. He's a very good opener for the Irish team, and unfortunately he hasn't got a ball off the break, so it's not the start they needed.
Yes, Thomas Kinsella, been a mainstay with the Irish side as long as these championships have been in existence. They call him Dracula's coachman. And obviously, he doesn't want to do the Welsh team any favors whatsoever. Neil Blake, newcomer to the Welsh side, a very good player, I'm told.
Red ball's in play.
And you will hear some cheering when balls are potted, and certainly when frames are won. The flags will be flying high. Seven players aside. Each team has a reserve, making a total of 8, and it's going to be a best of 21. The first team to win 11 frames will go through to the final. And this, folks, is pressure with a capital P. And there very early you see the whole team into each and every pot.
You can see the nerves just when they're sitting there watching the balls go down, but the nerves and the pressure just builds all the way through the whole match.
Absolutely. Sometimes a lot more difficult watching than it is out there playing, as tough as that is. Looking very solid right now is Neil Blake. The Reds in ideal position. You can see he's trying to remain focused out there. Not always easy to blot out that pressure.
The number 1 position is one of the hardest positions to play, Jim, because of trying to relax and ease all the pressure. When you just come in, you've got to pot the balls, and you really can't afford to miss. It's the start that the team is looking for, so he's almost there.
Well, his next positional shot doesn't look like he's going to be able to get close to that black ball. You can see the black available bottom left, so he's got to get to the right-hand side. But that yellow at the very top of the table looks to be impeding the natural progress of the cue ball. So he's going to have to avoid contact on that yellow. So he just wants to try and hit right in here in the cushion, and if he can just bring the cue ball just into this area here, just left of his ear, that should be pretty good. Well, I'm not sure I agree with the way that he played that, Alec. He tried to go right around the angles and tried to take the 8-ball to the opposite center pocket. That was asking a lot. And obviously, the more that cue ball is going to travel, the greater the risks.
It's a bit unfortunate. He just caught the jaw there where it may have got down at least for half a chance into the center, but now he's just got to, well, I can't see any path there to a pocket, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he's looking at here. Possibly trying to take the 8-ball off the yellow. I don't know how close it's going to come to the center pocket off that yellow. Need a pretty thick contact on it, but that's obviously what he's trying. 8-ball off the yellow and into the center pocket.
Yellow ball's in play.
So the first real chance for Ireland right now. I think Neil would like to have that last red over. But all the yellows available for Thomas Kinsella.
Thomas now won't be looking for 2 shots here. He's just got to pot the balls. They're all there. And this is what makes the team a whole lot more confident out there when they see their player out there all 7 balls remaining on the table, and he just walks up and puts them all away, hopefully with perfect positioning, and that's what draws the confidence to the side and takes the pressure off. When they see their best player out there doing it, they just want to follow suit. He hasn't really got a problem ball here. He's just got to get up to the top rail at the top of your screen and basically drift down for the 2 balls in the centre of the table, and then maybe the ball at the bottom left-hand pocket last for the black.
The easiest one last. And Thomas, having had the experience of playing in these Embassy World Team Championships on a number of occasions, will put him in good stead here.
Already it's turned bad, Jim. He's lost position already, and now he's up for either a fine cut in the centre pocket or a tough cut into the corner, but he's still going to have that red sitting on the top the yellow on the top rail.
Yes, he'd like to try and get at that as quick as possible, obviously leaving that yellow bottom left for his out, but he's looks like he's opting for a little discretion here, developing it, and in so doing laying the snooker on the 8 ball. That might be his best choice. Again, the experience showing through there. Alec, how difficult is it when you are in a rough position and your team is faltering? How difficult is it to try and maintain that positive outlook, and even though you know that your shoulders are starting to just slag a bit, try and keep the team forward and positive?
Just being in that situation there, Neil Blake was not expecting another shot, and all of a sudden he's got a snooker, and he's really trying to put that black in the hole. He's not thinking about missing the black at all, or just hitting it. He's thinking about potting that black, and that's what you've got to believe. You believe that you're going to pot that black every time you are trying, you know.
Well, if you believe the best will happen, it will. But you've got to fear the worst for Wales right now. 2 visits to Thomas Kinsella in Ireland. So really, the pressure has been alleviated. He knows he's got a miss in the bag.
There's no problem here, left here with these, Jim. They're all over. He won't miss these from here with 2 shots anyway.
Seconds.
Good shot from Thomas there. Just bump this yellow in, and a variety of options, and obviously so many that he's having trouble making his mind up exactly where he wants to play the 8. That'll do.
Go on, my son, come on!
And look at the Irish side. Captain Holgate, he's got the whip. Down goes the 8, and Ireland has opened the carrots here against Wales. They lead in this best of 21 semi-final team encounter, 1 frame to 0.
two-time world champion Rob McKenna at the table for Wales.
Yes, and who better to count on when you need it most than arguably one of the best pool players in the world, Rob McKenna. He's broken off, having gotten a color down, so it's an open table. 3-0, the deficit facing Wales. McKenna has to get him off the mark. This might be the most important frame he'll play all day.
They say the hardest two games in a match to win, Jim, is the first one and the last one.
Well, if Ireland were to fall, or sorry, if Wales were to fall 4-0 down to Ireland, and knowing they wouldn't see McKenna again for 7 more matches, I really don't think there'd be any way back for them. McKenna must win this frame if they're to have any chance. And you can see just how fluid Rob McKenna is. Plays with supreme confidence.
He's got a problem now, Jim. I think if he pots his red, the yellow might kiss the other red safe on the side row, and he would lose the white here. No, he's missed the red, but still hasn't got on it. Big double for a straight black, looks like.
There's the chance. Paul O'Donoghue from Ireland.
Ball's in play.
What a tremendous turn up this would be. A look again at the missed double. Wasn't a million miles away. But McKenna, as you suggested, Alec, after losing the white, left himself too much to do. Now, what do we know about this young man, Paul O'Donoghue? First go with the Irish side.
30 seconds.
And a very big occasion for him at the moment. Good yellow there, good starting one. That'll do his confidence the world of good. Well, we can tell you that during the matches leading up to this, played 26 and 116, lost 10, and that translates into a 61.54 winning percentage. And you can see there, just opening up the yellows, knowing he wasn't going to leave anything on for Rob McKenna, and the Irish side quite happy with that visit. And McKenna has to hit this red. He can't afford to give 2 visits away.
Total sneaker.
That would be disastrous. I think the Irish team sense that the moment is at hand right now for them to really grab this match by the neck. And that's a tremendous hit from McKenna, desperately needed. Wasn't a long ways off from knocking it in.
Come on, Paul.
30 seconds.
Well, I don't think he'll be potting out here, Jim. I can't see him putting this yellow over the hole. I think he's just going to pot this yellow, run through to the bottom rail, and try and promote the yellow across the left-hand corner. Try and push that yellow across the side there, and travel with the white up the top of the table, and leave Rob McKenna a very tough shot on the red.
Don't know if he'll be doing it now, though. He doesn't have enough angle to be able to follow your lead. I think he might have no choice but to play the yellow at the top of the table and hopefully not leave McKenna anything. Well, he certainly won't be leaving him anything easy. A little unlucky to have left himself right on top of the red as he has.
30 seconds.
Now, he really doesn't want to pot this yellow. He'd like to lay it right over the pocket.
Trap shot for young players is if he was to run this ball up and leave a slight gap there, there's a nice double back for Rob McKenna.
Well, he ensured not to pot it. That's for sure. But really, McKenna's forced into taking this double on.
Great effort. Bit firm, but it was a great effort.
And what's more, look what he's done with the cue ball. He screwed it right straight back up the table. Just about got both parts to that equation, but a lot of cue power from McKenna there. And he can offer a smile. He's not in the driver's seat, not by any stretch of the imagination.
But he's certainly keeping the pressure on. He's not leaving any easy shots.
30 seconds.
Oh, bogey.
Well, I think he's left McKenna a go at this red.
That's a lovely
What a shot. And what a time to pull that one out. Well, that wasn't easy. I still have fancied him to get it, certainly after the good red. And he won't offer a smile this time. And that was a test of cueing, Alec.
Seconds.
He's given Paul a chance here. He's got to pot this ball in the middle pocket, pot the yellow in the centre. But the pressure on him, leaving him Rob on the black if he misses.
Well, he shook his head. Obviously, where the cue ball's finished on this yellow, virtually straight on, doesn't afford him natural position.
Absolutely perfect, Jim. Got a nice angle to run up for the black there. It makes the shot a bit tougher, but you want to have an easy black, not a hard one.
Well, if he gets this yellow, it's going to be 4-0 to Ireland, all on this shot. There was a lot of pressure there, and Paul O'Donoghue knew it. Bradley right and truly in this one. 3-1 they trail Ireland, but a desperate finish there needed by McKenna.
5th frame, Ireland's break, leading 3 frames to 1.
Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert. Come on.
Brady breaking off. A very important match at a very important stage. Warren Hodgson leading the Welsh side.
Open title.
Right now, he's front and center. Finished with a 57.14 winning percentage. 12 frames won, 9 lost. A very good young player.
Open table.
With not much experience, Jim, but Robert Brady, he's been here quite a few times. I don't think he's going to be worried about what's going on around him. He's definitely looking at the finish here on the reds.
Thirty seconds.
Red ball's in play.
Well, that's the ball he needed. He's in on the reds and he's got into position. So now he's just got to play the balls and keep the position. Very difficult on this table because it's a fraction bigger than what they used to qualify on, Jim. I think that's why the players are a little bit lost out there.
Yes, for the televised stages, we're on a 4-foot by 8-foot surface. Not exactly what they're accustomed to, but a good recovery there from Robert Brady. He finished with a 59.26 winning percentage. 16 frames in the win column, 11 in the lost.
As far as I'm concerned, Jim, anything over the 55 to 60% mark against the best players from every country in the world, you've got to be happy with the result of that.
Yes, bearing in mind, as you said earlier, Alec, you don't really get a chance to get a feel for the conditions. It's one frame in and then you're out. So you've got to get the job done and then pass the baton to the next player coming in.
Thirty seconds.
Nice result there, Jim. Straight on the red in the middle. The only problem is the white's a bit close to the red and it's going to just make it hard to play this with a lot of top. He may be screwing it in the middle to, oh yeah, just a shot, just to give himself a shot. Do nothing special, just a shot to get the red down to the bottom pocket.
And just off angle on this, so that center pocket again coming into play a little bit with the cue ball. So he's got to be a little bit careful here, just follow through. Difficult pot.
Yellow ball's in play.
Another look at it here. And what's worse is he's developed the awkward yellow for Warren Hodgson. And Ireland really with a couple chances, certainly in the last frame. And here again, turning it over to Wales.
30 seconds.
think Warren here is just trying to find some way of a bit of safety, trying to find the 2 shots. Yeah, there's a snooker there, yep. But I don't think it's a very good snooker. I think Robert wouldn't have any problems getting out of this one. He may even be a chance of potting this. If it was a swing around these yellows, with the left-hand side, would hit the rail and just kick up a bit and maybe even slice this in, Jim. Great shot there.
Yes, a little bit careless from Warren Hodgson there. Left the escape, and with it, the possibility at the pot. And just look at this shot.
Great.
8-ball right center. It's there, and Robert Brady has reestablished a 3-frame cushion. Ireland in front of Wales, 4 frames to 1. A great start for the Irish side.
Frame, Wales frame, 4 frames to 1.
That's Craig Reynolds from Wales breaking off. He's up against John McMahon.
Yellow ball potted.
Craig Reynolds, a very good player. Seen a lot of him in the international competitions.
Yellow ball's in play.
Open table, he's elected yellows. And they are sitting very nice. Reynolds with a very good winning percentage of 76.19, 16 frames 4, and just 5 dropped.
Come on,
In my mind, Kershaw, Rob McKenna, and certainly this man, Craig Reynolds, are the players that Wales has to have lead the way. They need wins from these players. They have to hope to eke out a few from the lesser experienced ones on the Welsh side. But if they're to have any chance, players like Craig Reynolds have to be front and center. The 8 available, left center. And what a finish this would be for Reynolds. Great finish from Craig Reynolds. They're keeping Ireland in sight. Still well and truly in touch with this match. Staying with them.
Frame. Ireland to
At
break.
4-2.
Leading 4 frames to 2.
This is still anybody's. The referee Marshall Mortar just replacing the cue ball. Didn't have to call the ambulance on that occasion, but that white vaulted off the table.
He held nothing back there, Jim. He gave it everything he had.
That was John Collum. It broke off, and now we're going to see Nick Jones of Wales.
A lot of experience here with Nick. He's been around a long time. He was in last year's winning team, and he knows what it takes on these TV stages. Of course, he's got 2 visits here, Jim, because of the white jumping off the table, so that takes a lot of pressure off.
Red ball's in play.
They're all pottables, so he's just got to make position on them.
Nice cueing action. Slightly overscrewed that. He's left himself right on top of the yellow. Another reformed snooker player here. That's a great shot. Still got a dodgy red, bottom left, but what a good pot this was.
Don't forget, Jim, he's still kept his 2 shots, so you can, he's still got that shot remaining up his sleeve.
And there's a snooker stance, very square to the ball. Well, you can still see the red on the bottom of the cushion, but that wasn't the intended one. But again, as you suggested, Alec, he's maintaining the 2 visits, and that might prove decisive when it's all tabulated at the end. At the end of this frame.
seconds.
I'll do you. I'll do you, Nick.
Second visit. Now he's got to do it. And this isn't a formality. The red, no problem. Position, another story. He's forced to take the more difficult one. All or nothing right here. Now, has that cue ball traveled far enough to be able to get through to that red?
I don't think so, Jim.
And what's worse,
No.
and you can see now, in fact, it hasn't, so he's got to play it off the side cushion, but what's worse is he's bumped the yellow over the middle pocket and taken that pocket away from the 8-ball.
Come on. Great shot!
Great shot. That is a fantastic shot.
We could play that 10 times and not finish as well. Off 2 cushions and needed to get the cue ball out into the center of the table to leave himself half a go at the 8. So here we go for 4-3. Right off the break, what a finish for Nick Jones, and Wales white back in this one. 4-3 behind Ireland, and all to play for.
Eighth frame, Wales to break, trailing 4 frames to 3.
Well, Ireland led 3-0 and 4-1. Wales has taken the last 2 frames and down to Neil Blake to try and stay on course here.
Come on, Blake.
Yellow down.
Yellow ball bottom.
So it's an open table.
All of a sudden, we can hear a bit of noise from the Welsh there.
Been pretty quiet up till here. They've got cause to cheer a bit now.
Yellow ball. Yellow ball's in play.
30 seconds.
I think what people forget, Jim, is all the work that the teams have put in for the last 3 or 4 days to get to this position. There was 10 teams at the start, and now there's only 4. And I was in one of the teams that missed out, and we missed out by 2 frames. So really, you just got to be on the ball all the time. could just pot this ball, the lower yellow, sorry, over into the left-hand corner and run through and knock the yellow to the bottom of the rail, which will then make it pass underneath the reg into the right-hand corner. So it's a very good touch required here. And he's done it perfect too, look at that. He may be forced to put this over the hole, Jim. I don't think he's got an out on there. Just to gain a bit of control, because the yellow on the left-hand rail is going to be a difficult shot. He must be feeling confident after his first frame. He's really taken the bull by the horns here.
Well, I'm curious to see what exactly he's got in mind. I'm sure the Irish side also share that feeling. What he's got in mind for the two yellows at the bottom of the table.
Red ball's in play.
Red's in play for Tony Holgate, and a very interesting point. This is Tony Holgate's 99th cap for Ireland here. So if Ireland can win and go through to the final, Mr. Holgate will see a century of caps. And that's some kind of achievement. And most of those as the Irish captain.
He's wasting no time here, Jim. He wants to make up for that first game that he played, where he had about 3 shots in the black with Neil Kershaw. I don't think he believed he could play that bad. He's had 20 minutes, half hour to think about it, and I think he's really coming out to do the job.
Not sure if I agree with the shot selection there. He could have taken the red over the pocket. Obviously, he's left that there for insurance. But it would have made his path to victory a little bit easier. Queuing across the side cushion like that, that was a difficult red. But that red at the bottom right is still Tony Holgate's insurance for the moment.
Well, Neil was happy to try and pot out before when he took that yellow down the rail, so he must have thought it went before. He must think it goes now. That was a great effort there, Jim.
Yes, we were always wondering what he had planned. Now, has he left Holgate an opportunity? But that yellow definitely did go. So Neil Blake, obviously more method than madness. Big chance here for Holgate now. Take the two reds top of the table, come down for the red at the bottom. I really can't see him missing here again, Alec.
No, you can see the confidence there. He's really high on confidence at the moment. He's strutting around the table and not wasting any time on the shots.
Well, he won his opening frame in a real tussle against Neil Kershaw. And here he's up against another Neil. Real Blake, and he's looking like taking the frame here. This 8. Down it goes, and Tony Helgate, the captain, has taken Ireland to a 5-3 lead over Wales. A captain's innings from a captain player.
You really don't have to say anything about how Tony Helgate feels about that. That was exactly what he wanted to do. 5-3, Ireland lead it, and he stems the tide of that one revival coming back for Wales. Brilliant stuff by Holgate. But you said it at the top of the programme, Holgate does lead from the front, and when he's playing well, and he hasn't been playing the best of his game yet, but he can lead the whole team, can't he?
Yeah, he was good, well leading the team when they start, but good, very good start for Ireland, 3-1 up. But the thing is, at the end, they were not awake, and then the Welsh came back in the game. And that is good for Ireland that Tony won this one.
Great reaction. You just saw it there from the Ireland team. They are pumped up for this, aren't they?
Yeah, they go.
All right, at the moment, it's 5-3 to Ireland against Wales. Let's get back to the commentary now for the next frame.
And that's Paul O'Donoghue from Ireland kicking things off here. Already in the 9th frame. 5-3 to Ireland. Now, can Paul O'Donoghue erase the memory of a heartbreaking loss at the hands of Rob McKenna in the first frame that he played? And no better way than with a break and finish.
Well, he's got a big opportunity here, Jim. All the Reds are on.
seconds.
That's a bad miss.
Open table.
Now it's open table. He's got a choice of either red or yellows, and I really think he's going to be taking the reds here.
Well, he's up against Andrew Corton from Wales. Andrew ran into a very informed Greg Farron in his first go here in the semifinal. Matter of fact, I think all Andrew did is break off in his clash against Farron. That was his only visit to the table. He'll be looking to go one better here.
The only tough ball here, Jim, is the black ball. I wonder if it passes under the yellow. I think it does, but I can't see from here.
There you can see very clearly that it in fact does not pass, so it's going to have to be developed.
Well, the problem there is he's going to have to leave it for the last ball, pot the ball in the bottom right-hand corner and kiss into the black and hope for a result, and it doesn't always happen.
Well, he wants this red top right, leave himself a little angle to be able to get that cue ball into that 8 ball, and it's all going to be about developing it. So Andrew Corton right now looks to be cueing very sweetly. What a shot, and look how they've developed, and check out the Welsh side. And down it goes, and Wales right back at Ireland. 5-4 by virtue of a terrific inning from Andrew Corton there. On center stage from Wales, Warren Hodgson up against John McMahon from Ireland. And it's going to be Hodgson, young Warren Hodgson, to break off here. 6-5.
Go on, Johnny. Go on, Johnny. Go on, Johnny. Open table.
And Warren Hodgson lost his first frame, as did John McMahon. Another look at the break off. And we get a chance to see John McMahon, even though he's played a frame in this semifinal. We saw Craig Reynolds dish up right from the break. So we haven't had a chance to see John McMahon yet, not until now. John McMahon, no stranger either to representing his country. So he won't be any stranger
30 seconds.
to the team play. Well, he might well have been lucky here. If that 3-ball plant on the left-hand side, he's having a look at it right now. If that's aligned, he can count himself very fortunate. Still difficult to tell. We'll know when he plays it. Looks like it's in there, Alec.
It certainly does. And it was. It was a good shot. Great shot.
Yes, this affords him the opportunity to develop the yellows as well. It looks like he can definitely get through to the one below the black.
That's a nice shot, Jim. He's making this look easy from now.
There's one thing very noticeable. Every time Wales has put a good step, a positive step forward, Ireland has responded with one of their better frames. Certainly case in point when Craig Reynolds played a very good frame, followed by Nick Jones's frame. Quickly, Tony Holgate responded.
This shot here, Jimmy, needs to bring the white ball right back to the bulk line here. Oh, he's missed the bulk. Ended up with a reasonable result, but he wasn't looking at letting his opponent back at the table.
Looked like he was stretching a bit, and in the end had to just throw his cue at the white instead of stroking it. Fundamentals always play a major role. And that's under a magnifying glass when you're under pressure.
Seconds. 30 seconds.
Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny.
Has he left him on that yellow in the corner, Jim? I think it might. No. Oh.
Well, I don't think that's the best shot you're going to see from Warren Hodgson. I think he's left this on. It certainly can be made if he just swerves slightly around the 8, but he's actually left a path through to the other yellow too.
Come on, Warren. Come on, Warren. Come on, Warren. Come on, Warren. Come on.
Obviously not wanting to take the chance in removing the yellow because as it sits, it's guarding the bottom right pocket.
Warren has to step up here. The balls are there. He's really going to have to put his mind to it and basically pot the balls. And his last shot, what he done, Jim, wasn't a very positive shot. They're running out of time. They've got no time to be worrying about any pressure or anything. They've just got to put their mind to the job and get them frames back. They're only one behind at the moment.
$30 seconds.
The Welsh team and their captain Neil Kershaw just in behind Rob McKenna, nearest our camera. when you've got these young players out there, such as Warren Hodgson, I think you really need to get them going. You need to let them know that they're not out there alone. Every one of you are behind them.
That's a better safety shot, Jim. He's really tucked it in under that red there.
Foul. 2 visits.
And of course, John there just making him waste the first visit. So as it works out, he really only has the 1 shot. Even though it was a foul, he has to waste the first shot. So he really doesn't gain any big advantages there. Well, I think it just comes down to the red on the rail inside the yellow, Jim. The red near the black passes through to the middle. I think it may slide in there.
It might just go in off the yellow, but certainly it can occupy the pocket and thereby take control for the Reds. I don't think he wants to leave it too long either. Might want to consider it right here.
That was the problem, Jim. He wanted to draw the white ball back to make his next pot a bit easier, but the ball only just squeezed through there. There wasn't a lot of room. Of course, the harder you hit it, the less chance it's got of going in. He struck that nicely, Jim. That was a nice shot there.
The 8 available right center. And right now, that's exactly what John McMahon is looking at. That's the intended pocket for the 8 ball. He may elect to take it top right. Either way, it's all on this shot. Response from Ireland yet again. 7-5, they're in front of Wales, wanting just 4 more frames for a place in the final. Yes, it's John Cullum right there for Ireland. He'll be breaking off against Craig Reynolds, and we saw how well Craig Reynolds played in the first series. Break and finish. And right now, that's exactly what Wales need again. So John Cullum's got the ball off the break.
Come on, John.
And Craig Reynolds in his chair. Ideally for Cullum, he'd like to keep him there. Great chance this at the Reds if he can get his opener. The Reds ideally placed. When you see a player taking a lot of time, as John is right now, and he's got shots that confront him, that's an obvious sign that he's a little nervous.
Come on,
That's the result of being nervous.
open table.
So now Craig Reynolds afforded the opportunity to slot in the very nicely positioned Reds, Alec.
I like the way he shows his confidence, Jim. He really doesn't waste any time at all for the nerves to get to build up inside. He's a very confident player and quite capable of potting all these Reds without a problem. He was impressive in the first round. He went game off his break, I think it was. It's almost like he's doing a waltz, Jim, when he walks around the table.
Well, if Wales is to have any chance here, they'll be thanking the likes of McKenna and Craig Reynolds, should Craig Reynolds go on to victory in this frame. Because they certainly have led by example.
That's perfect. Perfect shot straight up the top there, Jim. This is a very good effort here, Jim. Yeah, never in doubt.
Just like his first appearance, the first chance he gets, Craig Reynolds deposits the win into the bank, shakes hands, and takes Wales close, one frame behind Ireland at 7-6. Nick Jones from Wales up against Robert Brady from Ireland, and Nick Jones won his opening round, and so too did Robert Brady. So one of these will maintain a perfect record.
Come on, Robert, get in there, son. Come on. Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert. Open table.
I think the Reds look like the balls again here, Jim. They're all on. He's just got to make position on them. Of course, we've seen how difficult that can be.
Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert. Red ball's in play.
Well, the Reds are available. It's all about positioning the cue ball. If you can get that white into an area just above the black, that red's available bottom left. I think he wanted to be a little straighter on the red that he's finished nearest to.
I think he was just concerned about the red up the top there, Jim. He didn't want to leave it for last. All the reds are down the bottom here, and he doesn't want to have to try and get up the top there for that. So this is the shot that's going to make him the game. And it's straight down the middle. That's a beautiful shot. Good position.
Great shot here, controlling the white perfectly. One more good positional shot. If you can just softly draw that white back into the open area, just above the black.
I disagree, Jim. I think he's just going to come
Just
back a
stop
couple
it
of
dead?
inches. Yeah, just have an angle on the red and break into the two yellows above the red. Will give him plenty of angle there for the other red into the bottom right-hand corner.
Yes, Alec, he's just had a quick look at it, and in fact, there is a path through. If he just stops it dead, there you can see.
Time running.
He can leave that red into the corner nearest our camera, cannon into the yellows to leave the other red on. All seems very simple from here.
Well, we're talking world class here, Jim. And he's done it perfectly. He's got a nice angle there. He knows he's done the hard work now. He's just got to take his time and really just keep still and play the shot, stroke the ball in, and it should go in no problem at all.
Well, has he been unlucky? I thought he should have drawn that cue ball a little bit, Alec, and made sure that he contacted the yellow that looks to be impeding his progress here.
I agree, Jim. He had to kiss both of them yellows. He's only kissed the bottom one, or the left-hand side one. But this is where the positive thinking comes in, Jim. He's got to believe he's going to pot this red. No point just trying to hit it. He's really got to believe he's going to pot it. As so.
Just like that. What a recovery. Going to need to pull another rabbit out of a hat here. After a shot like that, you'd have to feel that he deserves a better fate than to have finished on the 8. But look at that. Off the cushion. Hit as much red as he could see to slot it into the bottom of the pocket. Well, this will be a mighty blow. A fine clip, 8-ball top right. That was never going to be easy. I don't think there's much doubt what Nick Jones will do here. He's going to leave that cue ball wedged right up in behind the yellow. He's going to try and get 2 visits and bring the foul out from Robert Brady.
Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert. Come on, Robert.
I don't think it's as hard as he expected he was going to get. With the look on Robert's face there, he's happy with what he's got.
Time out.
I think you might see Robert coming off 2 cushions here. I think it is a total snooker, which means he doesn't have to hit the ball, doesn't have to hit a cushion after he makes contact with the ball. So he's going to try and slide off the 2 cushions and sit behind the black here. Played it to perfection. And Nick doubling the yellow back here to try and cover this black ball and get the white up the top.
That's a big shot, that is Nick.
Jim, some good pull.
And the Welsh side obviously quite pleased with that. Great shot. Even had it gone in, that would have been okay, but sitting there.
Well, 2 visits.
Interesting shot, Jim. I think that's a foul snooker, maybe. I think it may have just cost him the game.
Time out, sorry.
No.
Well, if that white goes over an inch, it would have. But I don't believe it is a foul snooker.
Not a foul snooker.
Come on, Nick. Come on. Yes, that is.
I don't understand why you would give 2 shots away there. I understand that the black was safe, but it's an opportunity to maybe pot the black in another pocket.
Second visit.
The whole idea is to apply the pressure, not to relieve the pressure. By giving Nick 2 shots, he's now let him get the hard yellow off the rail. And really, he only has a reasonably tough yellow on the left-hand rail, which, if he gets behind, it's not a difficult ball for him. Nice touch there, just screwing around the yellow.
Seconds.
Any real problem ball. Yellow on the left cushion. And they're living every shot. Just when you least expected it, the miss. Unbelievable. He can't, for the life of him, understand what happened there. Possibly eliminated himself, but in the end, Ireland again volleying blows with Wales, and Robert Brady keeps the 2-frame cushion for Ireland, 8-6 in front of Wales. And so it's Holgate now looking to get one step closer. 9-6 already. Can Holgate get to 10-6? Andrew Corton showed us a terrific show of form when he won his preceding match. Took out Paul O'Donoghue in convincing fashion.
Yellow ball's in play.
Great shot there, Jim, opening up the pack, and he's on the yellow on the bottom row there, so he's looking pretty confident there. He doesn't care he's playing Tony Holgate.
Well, the red light is on for Wales. And that's not what the doctor ordered.
It's not the worst result in the world, though. That's not too bad.
Just trying to force it a bit. And these pockets aren't too forgiving. We've seen a few touch the near bumps and drop, but anything with pace is refused.
It looked like he was more concerned on opening up the black ball, Jim, which he did do. It's getting harder for Tony here. Especially with all the yellows sitting ready to be potted by Andrew.
Because that's the most difficult, Red. If you can get that into a position, I think you'll be very happy with that. That puts the pressure squarely on Andrew Corton's shoulders now. Because Holgate does have game on when he comes to the table. All reds available. And Wales, concern written all over the faces of every member.
Seconds.
What an amazing result there. He's kissed the two yellows off the side rail, and now he's going game. What a turnaround.
And no reasons why he shouldn't accomplish it in developing those two awkward yellows. How quickly it can turn around. We've said it so many times, but one shot can be the difference between winning and losing.
White ball.
Jim, that's what makes a player better than the next player. A person that can turn the game around in one shot, be gone for all money, and then come out, play one shot, and then pot out and win the frame.
Well, he's faced with a tougher shot than he would have liked. It looks like he may have to try and screw the cue ball over to the side cushion and bring it back out to the center of the table into this area for the black. Take that. The New York Minute, terrific pot, and look at the position. What a performance, and look at Andrew Corton, delighted, and look at him pushing the Welsh side toward the finish line. And if you're leading by example, you won't find a better one. Terrific performance there. Now the captain, Neil Kershaw, up against Paul O'Donoghue. Kershaw has yet to make a mark, 0 for 2.
17th frame, Ireland's a break.
And leading the Welsh side in the standings in the averages. The law of percentages has to favor Kershaw to win here.
Come on, son. Red ball bottom.
Open table with the red down.
Jim, they say you're only as good as your last game. I don't believe that you always have to win a frame. When you look at playing 3 frames, you're not always going to end up with your 66% or your 33%. You've got to get out there and pot the balls.
It's the old story, Alec. What have you done for me lately?
Yellow ball's nominated.
When they'll quickly forget about the 77.78 winning percentage that Neil Kershaw had coming into the semifinal. They'll think about how well he's done in it. Biggest frame he's played all week right now.
Thirty seconds.
Paul O'Donoghue has yet to win a frame either, and he'd love nothing better than to play a small role if Ireland should go through to victory.
I think he's got a good angle here, Jim, where you could play this yellow on the bottom rail with a bit of left-hand side to kick that yellow out next to the red. And the good thing about it is he's got back up there with the ball still over the hole. Now he's got to make sure he doesn't move that yellow. Well, he didn't end up with any result there.
Well, the only chance is if he can get through to the one nearest the black. If he can. He's been fortunate, but it's very difficult to tell. You can see it'll pass, but has he got enough room to get at it? The way he's walking, I got to believe he can. A very quick pace. Still nothing to confirm it, but
30 seconds.
well, he's been lucky.
A little bit of luck goes a long way, Jim. He's also promoted that yellow on that last shot, so he's got that in the middle pocket now. Still a lot of work to be done. He's got to force this yellow, and we know they jump around in these centre pockets when you force them.
Yes, in at a very acute angle, and that pace, we've seen these refused.
It's a great shot. Come on, Paul, good shot.
But one more good positional shot from the penultimate yellow to the last one. And the hard work will have been done for Paul O'Donoghue. A little bit more hesitant now. This is tough.
This is one of the tougher shots in the book, Jim. He's got to play this with bottom left-hand side to stun over to the side rail without hitting the red, with the side taking it up to the middle of the table. Of course, he's hit the red there, and ended up only with a double on the yellow. It was a tough shot.
Roadmaps to victory can prove so important. Shot selection and just leaving that little bit of angle when it's required. When the final tally is done, can be so decisive.
Come on, India! Come on! Confident. Red ball's in play.
Another look at the double. Good 6 inches away. And this should be lights out for Paul O'Donoghue. Neil Kershaw at the table.
Come on, Neil.
Ensuring to just leave that little angle on this red. The real problem ball is the red at the top of the table. You won't want to leave that till last. And that won't be the best positional shot that he'll ever play.
I don't think it's where he wanted to be, Jim, but it's not too bad, because he's got to draw the white ball up to the top of the table. Even if he misses this pot, he won't be leaving a lot for his opponent.
Well, now I think he's got to take the red up the top cushion.
Come on, Paul. Come on, Paul. Come on,
Well, that was a very half-hearted effort. It's a fine clip on this yellow, but it's a chance. And I'm quite sure a chance that Paul O'Donoghue didn't think he was going to be getting.
$30.
I think that's what the shake of the head was about. He was a bit worried about that corner pocket up there. Even though he's caught it thick, he knew it was close to potting his red.
Neil Kershaw deposits the 8 for the second time in the semifinal. Wales has strung 2 wins together, and they're right back in it now at 9-8. A little smile even before the break, and you know that Rob McKenna will be confident about this one.
Wales to break. Drive 9 frames. Come on, Bobby. Come on, Rob.
Ireland had a firm grasp in this match, and then it slowly been pulled away from them. It slipped away. And right now, McKenna looking to bring the scoreline to 9 frames each.
Yellow ball's in play.
He looks like he's got a positive approach here, Jim. He's ready to go.
We noticed that with John in his last visit, his last match against Craig Reynolds. He was very hesitant, very indecisive.
Good shot, Jim. He's just making it easy here. He's not trying to hit everything too hard. I thought he would bring the white ball further down into the middle of the pack there, but he's just chosen to play the yellow into the left-hand corner and drift down onto the other yellows that come on this side.
Well, this would be a death blow if John Cullum could take out Rob McKenna.
We're expecting the big boys to do the job, and then the little fella comes in. They've been on 9 for the last 3 frames, and they've gone through Greg Farron, Tony Holgate and Paul Donahue.
But there is no obvious problems here. He's just got to maintain his nerve. He's just got to weave a path for that white, ensuring not to contact a red here.
I think he's got a bit of an angle here, Jim. He doesn't want to travel too close to the black. He may have to run through and put the black back in his bottom right-hand corner.
Well, it looks like he can even run through, play the black into the center. This for 10-8. And so much pressure. I don't think it can be easy enough for John Cullum right now. Down it. And John Cullum has taken out Rob McKenna. What a terrific performance. And that's got to put them in good stead. They want just one more frame for a place in the final. Here we go. Craig Reynolds versus Robert Brady, the battle of the left-handers. And this to force a one-frame decider. Open time. Straight into the pressure cooker. An open table right now for Brady. He's played some good stuff here. In fact, he's won both of his matches, as has Craig Reynolds. So one of these two players will remain undefeated.
That was a great opening shot there, Jim, over the ball. He forced that in, cued it very nicely.
That's the shot, Robert. That's the shot, Robert. Great shot, mate.
Big chance here for Ireland.
And you can even notice his head quivering.
I think he just realised there he's done the hard work, Jimmy. Now he's just got to take his time and put these 3 balls away with the black.
He's taking the most difficult of the reds. That disappears. Now I think he's got to take the one over the left corner, Alec.
Not for me, Jim. I think I'd take the one in the centre. I think it's a harder ball to get onto.
The position to the last red, if he does elect the one over the right center, it's going to be a little awkward. He'd have to make sure that he negotiates a gap. I think that's the reason he's choosing the bottom left. Well, this has to go left center. And this could be so much easier. I don't know about you, Alec, but I'm getting a little nervous watching this.
Well, it certainly could have been a lot easier, couldn't it? He's overhit that ball there, and obviously he just wanted to be in between the two yellows and have a nice little angle to run that through to the middle and end up in the top of the table.
He's got the red. Oh, that was a tremendous shot, a long straight black. This is what you practice days and nights for. Long straight cueing. This is all about muscle memory and fundamentals. Control your nerves and let that back arm do what it does. It's there! Yes, terrific victory. Be sure Irish eyes are smiling. It's an 11-9 victory over Wales, and they're through to their second team final. A terrific win over the holders, Wales, manufactured with emotion and positive team spirit. Handshakes all around, and they're through to the final.
Well, the world champions are out, and Irish eyes are smiling. What a great finish to that particular game in the semi-finals. Tony Holgate giving him a kiss. But Eric, you had the green shirt on all day. You said you wanted the Irish to win, and it's come true.
Yeah, I'm really happy for them because they was deserving it, sorry. And they started well the game, they had some missed. Wales were coming back in the game. Thomas Kinsella missed his clearance, but Robert Brady held on.
And it was nice. It came down to the best two players, really, in Craig Reynolds and Robert Brady. And Robert Brady has played superbly, hasn't he? Let's take a look at some of these shots. That's the last shot. But he never looked faultless. There was never a time when you'd say to him, yeah, I'm a bit worried about the way he's playing. But look at that reaction. That says it all. Holgate leaping down there. The bear, as you dubbed him, which is quite right. I didn't know he could move that fast.
Yeah, I'm happy for the Irish, really happy.
What about Wales? I mean, they expected to come here and win. They won the World Championship last year. Should they have taken better chances? Should they have picked a different team in terms of the order?
I really don't know. You know, they're coaching their team and the way they want, but you have to think about it before the game. Not just always the same player who's playing against the other player. You have to change the order. Because if you lose always against the same player, and you know he's in the same order, in the same place, then change your players. And I think that's what's happened.
Well, big celebrations for the Irish, and I can tell you it will continue long into the night, I'm sure. Estelle Matthews is with a very happy Tony Holgate.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan. I'm with a very excited Irish captain. Let's turn to Tony and find out how he felt the whole thing went. You dragged that out a bit. You won in the end, but it was a real battle, wasn't it?
Oh, you're not wrong. I mean, we had a tremendous start. We were 4-1 up, and we couldn't, you know, that's what we went out from the start to get the big lead early doors, and that's what we got. But then Wales came back, and I thought, oh, here we go again. Irish hearts are going to be broken, but no, we've done it. We're in the final.
Tell me about the pressure on Robert Brady bringing you across the finish line there. I mean, what kind of pressure was he under?
Oh, he was under immense pressure. I mean, the frame before, Thomas Kinsella had a great chance, and he missed. Warren Hodgson, he dragged it back for Wales. But Robert Brady, I mean, his last red was some pot, and then the black, you know, he held himself together brilliant. I mean, fantastic player is Robert.
So you've ousted the champions. You must be feeling good for the final. Who do you think you're going to meet?
Well, England are the strong favourites against France, but at the end of the day, we're in the final, and we're not bothered who we play.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm very pleased, just so happy and excited. Well done. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
And it's back to you, Jonathan, in the studio.
Thanks, Estelle. Yeah, Tony Holgate, he won't care who he plays in the final, but he has made a good point there. England are the form team, and it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Who do you think is going to deserve to win this final? Now you've seen all the teams in action.
The game between France and England.
I know what you want to say, but in sort of seriousness, though, do you think France are good enough to go all the way?
I think they are stronger this year to beat the English.
Okay, and if they do, will they beat the Irish?
That's in another game.
Okay, you won't be put on the spot for that. That is our next matchup, of course, England and France, but Wales are out. That's the news story from today. Wales are out of the tournament, and Ireland go through. They're certainly going to be well happy, and they'll be singing the Wild Rover all night long, I'm sure. But they've got another big matchup. It's going to be England or France. That's all from Blackpool now. That will be our next matchup. Until then, from all of us here in Blackpool, goodbye.